Hello my dear students, I am Ajay Srivastav, your sociology trainer. Today in this class, I am going to continue with the same chapter, that is Challenges of Cultural Diversity. In the previous class, we have read about what cultural diversity is, what is the concept of that, and also what are the features and the related aspects of cultural diversity is. We have read about communalism, we have read about regionalism, and also we have read about cultural identity. All the concepts that we have read in the previous class was related with basically the term cultural diversity. In this class, I am going to talk about the policies of cultural diversity. Basically, when we talk about policies of cultural diversity, then we talk about policy of assimilation and policy of integration. These are the two policies which are there with the particular thing, that cultural diversity. And in these two policies, we usually talk about nations. Like if we talk about policy of assimilation, here the concept behind this policy is that it includes all those nations which are basically following this particular policy. So here we talk about one nation, one culture and one religion as well. Here we talk about those nations which are following this particular concept of one nation, one culture, one religion. So here only one culture is promoted in that particular country and other cultures are not promoted. So though that particular culture is promoted which is in majority. So here minorities are basically considered backward and their culture are not even promoted in this type of policy. If we talk about policy of integration, here there is no concept of majority or minority. Here there are two types of culture. One is national and another one is public, which itself is of the personal one. So here only national culture is promoted. Yani ki if we talk about policy of integration, then India's culture will be promoted. Here we will not sing any song related to Hindus culture or Muslim culture. Here we usually sing the song of like Jan Gan Man Gan, which is national anthem. So if we talk about policy of integration, then example would be Jan Gan Man Gan, and others culture can be followed in their private life, or it cannot be followed publicly everywhere. You can follow that, it's up to you, but whole nation will promote the one culture only. So here if we talk about culture like festival, religion, I'm not talking about religion but I'm talking about culture. If we talk about India, India is a secular country. So here not only one culture is promoted, not only one religion is promoted, but each and every religion is promoted here. So that's why India's image is just like and included under the policy of integration. When we talk about majority and minority, this is a concept of majority and minority from the very past. Majority and minority. So both are the part of the nation. Majority and minority both are the part of the nation, but majority, whenever we talk about these two terms, majority and minority, we usually consider these two terms in sociology, then we will connect it with religion. Whenever we talk about majority and minority in sociology, we will connect these two particular majority and minorities concept with the religion. So those religion, those people, those community which are in large number, it is considered in majority, and minority is basically a weaker section, which who are, or those who are not in the bigger number, or they are just in a small number. So they are considered as a minority group. See, from very past, minorities people are basically facing discrimination. So to overcome all these things, to stop this discrimination and various other things that minority people are facing, government has tried a lot to uplift this particular community. So there were many concepts, many laws were made, many articles came where minorities were given just the same values or value or the same thing or benefit that majority one was enjoying. Why we are doing so? Why minority people are not doing it themselves? Because they are the weaker section. They are considered as weaker section. When we talk about weaker section, they usually are not basically they are not even able to ACES education. When they are not able to ACES education, then how can they go for a job, for a high profile job? But it is not it is possible with majority, and they can do higher go for higher education and do some good job as well. But whenever we talk about minority, then government has always tried to uplift them. They have given some relief in the seats as well. If we talk about whether it is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, in some examinations also, they were given some relief. So all these things are there in the nation, which government is doing for to uplift this particular section. And if we talk about policy of integration, then it usually promote only one culture. Here we don't talk about like national culture. Here we don't talk about personal culture of each and every religion. Here we will not sing any national, apart from national anthem, we are not going to sing Vande Mataram, or we are not going to sing any other Chalisa or Aarti. Here we will only follow the national culture, that is called NC. National culture is basically followed in this. So I hope I have made this thing very clear, these two topics. So the next topic that I'm going to continue is Article 29 and 30. Whenever we talk about Article 29 and 30, these two articles are related with minorities only. In these two articles, basically the provisions are given. In Article 30, the provisions are given for the minorities. Article 29 usually talks about minorities only. So both the articles are basically same and are related with minorities only. If we talk about Article 30, there is a provision in Article 30 for the minorities. Here in this article, we talk about minorities. So, if we talk about minority, then one should understand that in this particular article, it is written that minorities should be given all the rights that majorities are enjoying. Another thing, minorities cannot be discriminated on the basis of religion. The concept of religion should not come whenever we talk about minorities or any other people. It also says that India is a secular country, so no person should be judged, whosoever is a minority, should not be judged on any other basis, whether it is religion or any other concept. It should also, it is written that they have the right to start any educational institutions as well. So please children, it's my humble request to please go through these two articles. It's very important. Next concept, if we talk about state and civil societies. When we talk about state and civil society, these are the two types of society. If we talk about state, when we talk about state society, here we talk about the government. Government run the country. Here all the rules and regulations are made which are related for the sake of the country, which basically used for the development of the country and various other factors. Here in this particular state government work, and it can be dismissed anytime when it do something which is not correct. So state and civil societies are two concepts. So if we talk about state, then there are two partitions. One is authoritative and another one is democratic state. So when we talk about authoritarian state, here basically we talk about that type of government where people don't have any right. Each and every right is given to the government, and it can run as per its requirement. No power will be given in authoritarian society to the people, but if we talk about democratic society, democratic state, then we say that in democratic state, basically people have a right to vote, and here people select their representative. So these are the two concepts which are related to state, where we talk about authoritarian and the democratic state. Another thing is that civil society. Now question is, what civil society is? It is non-profit organization, basically which does not work for the profit, but here this type of civil society are usually work which usually keep eye on the government, whether government is doing everything correctly or not, and various other things. It usually fights for the nation's right, for the people's right. For example, if we talk about the examples of the civil society, then example can be women group or women rallies, etc. It can be included in this, and several other things which usually work for the social development. They work, usually do social work, that is known as civil society, and civil society basically keep an eye on the government, whether the government is doing everything correct or not. Now, the next concept is emergency of 1975 and 1977. So here, if we look at emergency, then the Hindi meaning will be apatkalin. Whenever we talk about emergency of 1975 to 77, the minister which here we are going to talk about is Indira Gandhi. During her tenure, Congress tenure, Indira Gandhi was leading her party at that particular time. She started the mass sterilization, where tracheotomy and vasectomy was followed. You have read these two concepts in second chapter. In the very beginning, demographic structure of Indian society and various other things. You have read about what vasectomy and tracheotomy was done. At that time, population was increasing day by day. So at that time, people were like increasing. So what she has done, she has followed this mass sterilization, where people were blindly were asked to sign on the paper, and it was written that they are agreeing that they are going to follow vasectomy and tracheotomy. So basically, you have like I have told you what vasectomy and tracheotomy is in the second chapter only. So here, emergency of 1975 and 77. Why we are talking about this particular thing? Because we are talking about minorities' right. So whenever we talk about emergency of 1975 and 77, it's an example that people are given right, but you cannot take anyone's right by blinding them off. So this particular Indira Gandhi did the same thing. She made people sign on the paper, and people were not even aware that what is written in there. So the people's right was violated at that time. And not only this, what other things she has done, she has made like censorship also on the media. Censorship basically, if you talk about censorship, then it means that first show then print. That means no publication, newspaper can publish anything against the government. So censorship is basically done by the government to control that particular media, so that they cannot publish anything which is against them. But this is the concept which government has taken. But this particular concept of censorship came with a view to avoid chaos in the country, because many times media usually, without any doing research or any other thing, they usually publish anything, which later on creates chaos. So to avoid all these stuff, censorship was introduced. So here Indira Gandhi introduced emergency, and censorship was also imposed on the media, because the media started showing all these things what Indira Gandhi's government is doing. So to stop this, censorship was also introduced in this. So I hope I have made this thing very clear what emergency of 1975 and 77 is. Now the last topic is Right to Information Act 2005. Whenever we talk about right to information, means like all the people living in the country have a right to know what is government doing. Well, sometimes what this particular right is introduced to create transparency. So this transparency is required for in the nation to run it smoothly. So this particular concept was introduced, this Right to Information Act 2005 was introduced in the constitution, which gives right to the people to ask for the information. So whenever people ask for the information, government also sometimes work for the nation. So people want to know what government is working. Suppose government has shown some expenses. The people want to know what the expense here. So people have the right given by the constitution. They can ask the government anytime for anything. So that thing, this particular thing shows transparency and which literally help the nation to run smoothly. So right to information not only work in the case of government, but also you can, like suppose you have given you have given some examination and you're not satisfied with the exam like marks which was a government exam. So you can file an RTI, that is right to information. So then you can get to know what your marks was and what your actual marks is, and whether examiner has committed some mistake or the actual marks. So Right to Information Act usually gives the right to the people to ask for the information. So all these concepts were related to culture, diversity, and identity, and says that a right to information also said everyone is having a right. So here we are not going to compare or differentiate anyone on the basis of anything. So I hope I have made everything very clear. Please children, it's my request to go through the chapter, read each and every text given over here. It will be really helpful. Thank you so much.